Hello, hello, and welcome to the Lunch and Learn with Pump with Purpose and Pump Mama Pump. So we will get started. I don't know about you in my office. We usually 2 minutes late is on time. So we will wait for her. Hello, hello. Thank you all for joining. So while we wait, let's see. This is a thing with lives. It's just the awkward moment until you can get everyone in and get started. Request over. So hopefully she will be joining momentarily. There you are. I did it.
Oh, yes.
I
Yeah,
hate live. Like I'm always like,
are live.
yes, trying to get it started and then waiting for the person to join. And it's that awkward moment at the beginning. So hello.
Hello, hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good. I am glad that it's Friday. I'm glad that we get to have a little bit of rest as we're about to talk about rest.
Yes, yes. I am so glad too. Um, this week has been a lot. It's a lot going on every week, but
Yes, especially this week.
yeah. So I'm
So we
glad
want to
you're
believe we are so glad for everyone that's joining, and it'll be, can always rewatch as well. So I guess you don't know I'm about to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. So surprise. I just want to publicly we talked about it before, but just say thank you. Like just the opportunity to work with you, to talk with you, to just develop a friendship over Instagram. And we don't live too far away, but we just haven't had the opportunity to connect. So I just wanted to say thank you. I mean, when I came on with my platform, I think I lost her for a second, but technology, but I'll keep going. She'll see it later. But when I started the platform, I was just a little bit nervous. And literally, the moment she found me, she sent me a DM and was like, the moment she found me, she sent me a DM and she was like, welcome. I'm so glad to have you here. And it was just that moment of relief that, I'm just so glad to be joining the ranks with someone like you as well that's been doing this for a while, giving so much to the community. And I just wanted to publicly say on the record, I know you probably didn't hear all of it, so you gonna have to look back at it to see it. But just literally just saying thank you for the warm welcome into the community. You didn't know I was gonna say it, but give thanks and just be humble that especially I'm transparent, so in our culture sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, she's coming on the scene, who is this? And it was not like that at all. It's been a genuine friendship relationship all this time, and just wanted to say thank you. So
thank you for that. That is definitely, I mean, you caught me off by surprise. So thank you so much for that. Yes, I just love this community and this space, and having you here has definitely been a breath of fresh air. We need to have that sisterhood, with no competition, not really concerned about, anybody else and what they're doing, but trying to bring information and awareness to this community that we exist, that they're not out here by themselves. And I think that, it's really true that when you come together with someone, it makes the load easier to bear. And it kind of puts in perspective, that people aren't doing it alone. So I'm just so grateful to be a part of this community with you. I'm so grateful that you decided to step out there, jump out there, take a leap of faith, and be a part of this community, to bring awareness to those who didn't even know it really existed. So thank you, Diana.
yes. I'm here for all this love.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we definitely won't belabor the moment. So I just wanted to open up, wanted to, thank you, but also, we're going to just talk a little bit about ourselves, a brief introduction, backstory, and why we started this. Like, I'll let you go.
Okay, so I am Raquel, and I am the founder of Pump Mama Pump. And I actually authored a book called Pump Mama Pump. And the reason that I authored the book, it was a push from one of my friends. Her name is Ashley, and she was just like, Kelly, people call me Kelly. I'm sorry, Kelly. You need to start a book. And I think that what happened was I was definitely an advocate for pumping because I had no knowledge of pumping. When I first had my son, he came at 34 weeks. He was a preemie. And I didn't have a chance to actually go through any lactation classes. I didn't have a chance to do any of the things that, I had kind of prepared for. He caught me by surprise. And so one of the things that I knew that I wanted to do going in was breastfeed. I just wasn't sure that I would do it in a different way. So I had a nurse, and me and Diana kind of talked about this before. I had a nurse who told me, you can still breastfeed, but you just do it in an alternate way because your baby isn't able to suck yet. And so she said, I just want you to know if you keep pumping, the milk is going to come. And of course, in that moment, I'm like, I have nothing. Like, I have no drops. I have no colostrum. I have nothing. And so she said, just keep pumping. I promise you're going to get some milk. And I think that kind of pushed me into the direction where it was like, I had that support there going in. It wasn't from my family. It wasn't from, anybody else, but it was from that nurse who initially just said, just do it. And of course, the milk started coming in slowly but surely. And I just wanted to bring awareness to people that you may not do it in the way that seems like the normal way, but pumping is still breastfeeding. So I just wanted to create that community and create a book that was just an encouragement to moms to just know that, you can do it. You can pump, you can breastfeed, you can do whatever way you choose to do it. It's possible, and just stick with it. Just remember your why and just do it. So that's why I created this community. It has grown so much over the years, and I'm just grateful to be here.
That is amazing. Thank you for sharing. So, like Raquel, same thing, in a different way. Of course, we all have our birth stories, and they change the dynamic of everything you had in mind is not what is about to happen sometimes. And so, my first son, he was born, had a not perfect, but great pregnancy overall. And then when I get to the hospital, 3 centimeters dilated, they go to bring my water and poop isn't there. And they're like, okay. So, they started the Pitocin because my contractions stopped. And then all of a sudden, his heart rate wouldn't take the Pitocin. And of course, hindsight 2020, if you have a chance to do it all over again, you would make some different decisions. And so he couldn't handle the Pitocin. So the doctor said, well, if his heart rate drops 3 times, we got to take him. We have to go in emergency C-section. So they prepped me and said, listen, if he inhales it, we're going to have a problem. So I already knew, if he inhaled the meconium, that it would be a problem. And so, of course, he inhaled it. His lungs collapsed. He had to be resuscitated. So we were in the operating room. It went from like 3 or 4 people to, a whole team of NICU people in there. And I was so stunned and numb that I didn't even know how to react. I just was there. And my husband was beside me, tears rolling, crying. And I'm just like, what's going on? But I was so out of it. So they rushed, they did resuscitate him. They took him over to the NICU. My husband was able to go with them. And I'm sitting in the operating room, no husband, no child. Like, what is going on? They whisked me off to the recovery room. I didn't even I thought I was going to breastfeed. Like, I didn't have any family, but a lot of my friends before me had breastfed. And so I'm like, I'm breastfeeding. No, breast beforehand, didn't know, to grab a pump. So my son is in a whole different area. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to, because he's there. I'm walking over, just finished a C-section. Like, I wasn't taking my pain meds. They're like, you need to come back to the room for your meds on time. And I'm like, okay, didn't do it. Started and I was just a mess. I stayed the full 5 days back before, 3.5 years ago. I stayed the full 5 days, and my milk came in on the 5th day. And I literally remember the joy that I was like, it's happening. And it just created this spark in me. Like, I can do this. I was still trying to, nurse, because that was in my plan, but I tried for 3 months, and so much mom guilt, so much guilt from other people. The thought of that, pumping is less than, and, but if that's the hand that you're dealt or the hand that you choose, run with it. I mean, we don't all have to do the same thing. So I just
so good
pump every 3 hours. And so then fast forward, had the oversupply. Then, I wanted to get pregnant, had the oversupply. So my second son was born, and I tried again. And I'm like, but I knew pumping. So I'm like, I'm about to do this again. And I'm about to do this big.
Yeah.
And the platform came because I've helped so many people, inspired them. I bought so many products. I'm like, why waste your time? Like, talk to someone that knows what they're doing, knows what they're talking about. So you don't spend the time and money we've spent out here, product after product. Like, I could tell you all day what I did on my platform, but that's not helpful because it may not work for you. So I like to get to know people, like to talk to them and say, what's working for you? What do you like? You like a fast suction, slow suction? So I'm just here to demystify the myths that pumping can be done long term. We both know that it can, that it can be, but if you're in your own bubble, you don't realize that.
Yeah.
So inaccurate information, so much, we've talked about it as well, this being dismissive of pumping, and just being here to inspire the community, the pumping community, that we are here, we exist, and we can do this long term. So we can both get off this soapbox.
Absolutely. Yes.
So, yes, so we are here to talk about Black Breastfeeding Week. And so I'm so excited for this week. We've both been pumped, in Black Breastfeeding Week all this time. And, this is my third of the 4 years of doing it, and just happy to have a week committed to us joining together to help bring awareness to this cause. So if you could just talk a little bit about what Black breastfeeding means to you and why this week is needed so much.
Okay, so Black Breastfeeding Week means a lot to me because I know that we are in a community where breastfeeding is not really seen as the thing. There is an awareness that's coming through education, lactation support. People are getting more education on breastfeeding, but most of the time we're just introduced to formula feeding our babies. That's generally the go-to for us. So I think that bringing awareness to Black Breastfeeding Week, women of color being able to being able to actually feed their babies, being given the information that it can be done amongst this community. I know it's like the overwhelming feeling of just knowing that they've dedicated a week to us to just say, we're doing this too. We're in this space as well. And that, we're feeding our children this good liquid gold as well. So I mean, it means so much to me. I have so mmany friends, like all of my friends, they went through this breastfeeding journey with me. Everybody that was pregnant, well, I was pregnant, we kind of went through the journey together. And just to know that we have a community of support, a support system that's actually out there, that's actually just doing the work, that's actually talking about it, that's actually in the forefront saying, yes, this is the thing to do. And even if you can't do it, it's information out here to support or to help you to kind of get out, that process, or even talk about that process of what it looks like to be able to actually nurse, breastfeed, pump your baby. So I just love it. I just love the support that and the energy that we're getting this week. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, I haven't seen it like this, and I've been in this space for about 2 years. This year, it's like, I don't know if it's because of COVID or what, but we are out here, okay? We are representing out here this week, okay?
So for me, I'm just out here trying to improve Black breastfeeding rates. I want to all, every person that wants to learn more about pumping and add it to their, but just the extra benefit of trying to bridge that gap, trying to close that gap is just something that I'm here for. I'm here for everyone, but there's just a, moment for me that I just really want to reach back. I really want to provide the support that I wish I had when I was out here, starting the journey on the internet, looking at stuff that isn't even accurate. So, definitely find a resource. Definitely am just so appreciative of this week. And so the theme for this week is the big pause, collective rest for collective power. So if we can just talk a little bit about how we find rest. I mean, being a pumping parent, being a parent in general, role as, wife, full-time worker, how do we do it?
And so I think that for me, I have had to be intentional about it. Like, because outside of being intentional, life is just life, and everything kind of piles up. Just being transparent, just having so much stuff to do, as like you just listed all of those roles, and in my mind I just got tired, you know what I mean, like, so so I literally have to be intentional and like steal away that time. And I've noticed that even with pumping, I find moments of rest even in that, you know, and it's not necessarily always about sleeping, but making sure that I'm intentional about my self-care, and that being the rest that I take, or, you know, finding a moment to pause and kind of reflect and kind of like take in what's actually going on in the moment, because sometimes we can't necessarily get the sleep that we want, you know, like all of us want sleep, but getting and being intentional about taking that time, stealing away to rest, to not be mom life all day, or to not be wife life all day, and not be, you know, all of the things that we see on social media and all the hashtags, to not be any of those things, but to be me, to be Raquel, outside of baby, mama, employee, all of those different things. So I think that's how I kind of find that time to rest, just being intentional about carving out space. And it may not be every day. I mean, you know, quite naturally we wish we could get a moment of rest, to pause every day, but I mean, this is life. It's not happening like that. But the moments that I do have, you know, I am intentional about making sure that those moments are impactful, that I'm able to actually recalibrate my life, to be able to stand still and say, you know, these things can wait. You know, this is what's important in this moment. And yeah, I think that sometimes all of that kind of gets swallowed up in our roles. But we still have to remember that we are a person, and we have to be able to function and be able to live. And, you know, it's impossible for us to be able to really honestly do what we need to do for everybody else if we're not really taken care of, you know, because it's like, if I shut down, then my house shuts down. So I need to make sure that I am able to do what I need to do. So
No, I
and
completely.
I pour from an empty cup.
Yes.
Yes.
We cannot. And just for me, it was just realizing that moment that I can't do it all. Like before marriage, kids, I was doing, it wasn't a time I wanted in school, doing some degree, doing some certification, doing something. And as in our society, we're do, and give, and realizing like, I can't do all of that. You know, there are other people out here that are little that need me to learn to say no. That was a big thing for me. I mean, our family was always on the go. It was, if somebody was having a cookout, if somebody was having a family get together, we were there all the time. And COVID really helped slow things down for us. That I remember my first Christmas, and we went home to see family, and literally, like, you know, I'm an all or nothing type person. So I try to be fair, split houses, and, you know, you got all the pump stuff to take. First time parent, you like got 6 suitcases full of stuff, and like I literally broke down on Christmas, like I cannot do this anymore. I cannot. And I just had to realize, like, I can't be that for everyone. If I have to turn something down, I have to turn it down. I have to allow myself a chance to, after working all week, I want to spend the weekend with my kids. I want to like enjoy, take them out, take them to the park, take them to do things that maybe I didn't value. I mean, when things open back up, and going to restaurants and traveling and cross the country. And like, I just want to do things that is of value to me and not so much to everyone else, and have to be there all the time, and letting your brain rest. That's me. I'm always thinking, doing, next plan, next goal, next this, next that, and I'm like, I need a moment to rest, and pumping helps me do that. Like, I try to not multitask a lot when I'm pumping. I try to like sit down, because that's how you know, have the guided imagery, have the moment of just letting your body relax and get those letdowns in. If I'm busy moving and shaking all the time, I mean, I can't do that. And so also sleeping while I'm pumping, I've learned, I've done it so long, I can you know, put I will, I'm like, how you sleeping? You exhausted, you will learn how to do it. Like,
Yes.
I'm not getting out of my bed. Like, to the people that, you know, get out the bed for the husband, nope, I'm sitting in the bed. You gonna listen to this pump, that's gonna be your music. So, you know, I lay in that bed and I just sleep and sleep, and I wake up. You know, luckily I pumps that it shuts off automatically at 30 minutes with the Spectra. But I'll wake up and I'll have milk. Whatever milk I have is, you know, it's better than not pumping. So I just learned to have fun in it all. Have, you know, accept that we are here. We're just trying to do the best that we can, and just really take away and out of those generational traumas and, all of the things that, are thought about with breastfeeding, and taking the time to just accept that this is the journey that we decide to do. And we are here resting in it, even when we can't rest, like you said, just having the downtime of not going and doing all the time. So
And
it's been a great week. After this week, I didn't rest that much this week, trying to, keep social media going and stuff. But next week, I'm going to have a little bit more rest. And
yeah.
I said next year, I'm going completely because that's the other thing. It's like balance of, if I can't do this, work's going to have to take a back seat. Next year, at least half a part of, I can't juggle all the hats. And my husband, he knows this Black breastfeeding week. So he's coming home, taking the kids downstairs and, allowing me to do what I need to do. And so I just feel like it's a good time to just bring this cause to the forefront and just be there in the moment. And so with the time that we have left, I don't know about your DMs, but people have been asking, and I wanted to make sure we got this in on this live of, people have been talking about what can they do to help? What can they do to help bring awareness to this cause, and why this initiative is so needed? And, just your thoughts on what others can do if they're interested.
So I think that a part of what is needed in this community is definitely support, not just support from our community, but support from other communities as well. I think that what we can do is we can make sure that it's not just a cultural thing or a ethnic thing or a color thing, but actually support you, even outside of your races. Like it takes nothing to share a post. It takes nothing to like a post. It takes nothing to come into our world to kind of see, even though you may not be a part of our space, but to come into our world to kind of see, what it looks like for a person of color who's breastfeeding, who, goes to a hospital and is immediately told to give their baby formula. Like, and kind of, I don't want to say empathize, but understand what that looks like for us. And when you see us in a space where we are doing the work or trying to present this information to our community, support it. It takes nothing as another woman to say, let me push forward too.
Yes.
And that's definitely what's needed, because we're all trying to feed our babies. At the end of the day, we're all trying to feed our babies. And, if we're trying to feed our babies, liquid gold, if we're trying to feed our babies, our breast milk, even if we're trying to donate it, even if we're trying to pick the best pump, don't ignore it, or don't ignore our posts, chime in.
Yes. Agreed.
I mean, I just think it's a matter of support.
Agreed.
And that's just what I.
And that's for me as well, like just to support, share, listen to our stories, listen to our journeys, listen to, things that have happened for many years that may be a trigger for us.
Yeah.
It trigger to see someone that doesn't look like us trying to tell us, how to do things, and just supporting, sharing that there are others out here that support pumping that look like them. We don't need, to say we want you to, lift us up and carry us. We just want you to join, we can do that. We've been doing that, for years. So we just need you to join in, trust our stories, trust that hurt, that deep down, what we feel is real. It's there. We're going to survive in this society. I mean, we're not asking for that. We just ask to trust that what we've been through is real. It hurts us, has held us back through this time, and we're just trying to reclaim what we know to be something we already know how to do. We lost it for a moment where, we were talking about it, my grandmother nursed all 5 of her kids, and, my mom did it. And so now it's like, I'm doing it now, and hopefully my sons will, be able to, not let breast be sexualized. Like I was telling you, I was talking to my son last night, my 1 and almost 2-year-old, and I pointed, he loves to rub on them for some reason. He just loves to just touch. And I was like, what's that? Like, that's a pump. And I'm like, okay, if that's what you want to say. But it's just the fact that it's not sexualized. It will be, hopefully something that they can carry on to their generations, or my cousins, or my, just in general, family can just carry this forward. Well, we're in another, 50 plus years. We can bridge that gap. And, just to be a part of that effort is just great. I want to tear down those, traumas and help heal some of those traumas and help encourage the healing and to bring forth to our families and families, not to shame it, not to like, what are you doing? It's the support. Like my family, I'm still doing it now. I'm like, you still doing this? I'm like, sure am. I didn't get like this overnight. I remember I was so just nervous. I didn't even want to tell people I was pumping.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, hey, I'm here. This is what I do. And so,
yeah.
what you gonna say? Nothing. you gonna say it after you leave here, because even my husband will defend it. Like I'm out here in these streets, like, and I'm gonna do what I need to do to feed to feed what I think is appropriate. And so I'm just so thrilled that you decided to just come on with me and help to spread the word, to hopefully encourage someone. So if you're out there watching, this live will be up. Please, please, please share, please. We want people to laugh in this. Like, it doesn't have to be that serious, For what? Like, it's joy in this. It's tears, it's happiness, it's sadness, it's all of the above on each day. But today, we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna laugh it. And so we don't want to keep you from your lunch. We want to eat too, because staying hydrated and eating well is great as well. So you have any last minute things, anything?
So yeah, I just want to say that we both have created these communities just again to support. And one of the reasons that I did create Pump Mama Pump was because I wanted to compile everything into one space that was a space for millennials, people of different generations to kind of read. And it's not like you have to keep going online and try to figure out different stuff. It's actually right there in one place. So I just created the book. And again, to be an encouragement, I'm sure in moments of you reading it, it's going to be something to laugh about. It has in the back of the book where there's a journal that you can write love notes to your baby. And I mean, I feel like that's something that you can keep forever. So your baby actually knows what you were thinking or saying at the time in your mind, while you were pumping, like a love note to your baby. And you can do that on different days. So I just wanted to just share that because I feel like the book changed my life writing it. And I know Diana said that it was impactful to her. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. And then Diana has this amazing merch that she has that she's just come out with. This lady has like it all over there. So
I am just trying out here.
Yes.
Our ultimate rest giveaway, Pump Mama Pump book. Have a blanket and a pillow to actually get some rest. So just rest. Just take that time. Enter the giveaways on either one of our pages. I'll compile it and I'll do the giveaway to show, and we'll, get it to the person that wins. And we just hope that you all just take the moment to
rest
in this moment and enjoy it and laugh and just do what's needed to get it done. So,
yeah, absolutely.
I just wanted to thank you for your time today, for joining in. And we'll end it there.
Yeah.
So hope you have
we'll be back again. This is
yes, we'll be back again. We're gonna join forces and we're gonna do what we can to help the pumping community. So
absolutely.
You enjoy your weekend with your family, have some fun, and I will talk to you soon.
All righty, I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.